Hi, welcome to Hit the Bar, the Shrimps fans panel. This week we're joined again by Nathan. We have newcomers Kev and Lee. Thanks for coming tonight. It's another little bit of a downer, I suppose, after the hiatus of the Easter results and the two great victories. Another one where, am I right in saying that we were just sort of part of the party for Stockport on Saturday? Didn't seem to, have a shot on goal even. Is that what you think, Nathan? Were we just there to make the numbers up?
Well, it was difficult. I mean, I think the only thing Stockport had on their minds was to go out there and get a result. I think wasn't it a draw? They needed a point to go, and they just went out and did the job. I'm sure they've been told before the game, it's just go out there and play. Meanwhile, we just went there and played for pride. I thought we did give it a go.
Right.
We did pass well and got the game going. But then again, I thought that Stockport did enough to go up.
Yeah.
So credit to Stockport for having a tremendous season as well.
I mean, they're a good side, Kev, but did you see enough from Morecambe to make you think that they were still fighting for the shirt?
I think they're mainly deflated, I think, after getting the points deduction the week before.
Yeah.
I think there was a big downside with the team there. It could have been a 3-8 for them, come out and give it their all. But the first half was shocking, I personally thought, from what I've seen. And the second half, they come out to give a better fight, but the game was already done by then, wasn't it, really? So
Yeah. Is that something you can pin on the players or the management, Lee, or is it just, we're coming to that stage of the season with nothing much to play for?
No, I think Stockport have got the better team. They've got the money, they've got the investment. Much better team, I think, from top to bottom. I think we've done that a few times this season, though. We go to big clubs and we end up kind of falling over at times. And that, all right, it's done 2-0 and the scoreline was probably not as bad as it could have been, but I've since Kev watched the kind of game, we could have got 4, 5, 6. So it's one of those games, unfortunately.
And do you see that in the team now? Do you think we've just given up the season? Is there points deductions? And I mean, let's bear in mind the points deductions are for late payment of wages. Is all that a factor, you think, in the minds of the players as they come to the end of the season?
I mean, it has to be. If you're not getting paid, it's going to be on your mind. But I think you'd like to think that they're all playing for their careers, essentially, whether it's with us or somebody else. So I like to think that's not on the mind. They'll still play for the shirt and the fans. But even before the point deduction, I think we've got that in us at times where we will fall over against big clubs. But that's home or away. I think we've all seen that as fans. So yeah, I don't think it is the factor. It will be a factor, but it's. Yeah, I like to think they put the shirt on and it's kind of forgotten for the 90 minutes.
So it's difficult though, isn't it? I mean, when you're getting this points deduction, which is for not putting the money into the EFL account that we're supposed to do because we had a late payment. And managers and players will all say that doesn't affect them. But in those split seconds where you probably think, well, hang on a minute, if the club isn't bothered about me enough to pay me on time, split seconds where you've got a decision. Do I go in for that hard tackle? Yeah. Do I take him on? Do I give that extra bit of effort? It might just come into play, do you think, Kev?
I think with the point deduction coming in from, don't forget it was last March, wasn't it, when they got done for the money in the bank, like you say there. I feel sorry for the players that have played this season that have nothing to do with it. They've run the socks off. They've been fantastic for the club this season, and to get what's done to them, it was just massive deflation in them. And I don't really know what else you can say about it, really. Personally, anyway, it just feels sorry for the lads that have, like I said, worked hard all year for the club.
And we're coming into the last two games of the season now, Nathan. Can you see them lifting it on Saturday? I mean, it's the last home game of the season, and home performances haven't been brilliant. They've been very up and down this season. We've had a lot of good away wins, but the home performances haven't been great. Do you think they'll kick in on Saturday and give it one last big go?
I hope so. It's been the last home game of the season. Hopefully try and get a result from the fans. Also, it's community day as well, which obviously there's been a lot of work behind the scenes with the community. I've heard they've been giving tickets out to schools, so hopefully they pack the ground out and hopefully there'll be a lot there to cheer them on for one last home game.
And of course, Forest Green's relegated. Will that be a factor, do you think, on their performance at all, Lee?
To be honest, I think it could be a 0-0 rather than a game. I think they're already down. We are, not playing for anything. It's more the players playing for their careers, which again I keep going back to. But that I hope again that's enough for them to get on. But I think it could be a bit of a drag on the other side.
Go on, everybody, get your tickets, get yourselves down there. But I mean,
see some goals.
that's a fair comment to make, and it's a fair assessment of what might happen. But sometimes you find these games surprise you, don't they, Kev? You know, and you might see a few goals.
You can see Forest Green coming out. Like they've already been relegated, so they've got nothing to play for. You know, so it's
No pressure on them.
No,
is
that's what I mean. So they can come out and just relax, can't they? And you know, give it the roll, and hopefully we'll see a few goals. I'll look forward to it, especially being last game of the season. Hopefully it should be a good party atmosphere down at Mazuma, and everyone will get behind the club again.
And then, of course, talking about party atmosphere after the game, there's the awards ceremony. Are we in any doubt as to who's going to get these end of season awards? We've mentioned a few, but who's your player of the season, Nathan?
For me, I've kind of said Joel Senior. I think he's been well this season. He's been a good pick up from Carlisle, especially when it released last season. So I was surprised when we got him in, and I feel like he's just played really well all season. He's fit right into the system as well, and he's assisted and he's been good down that side.
Are we all on that, or is there any other names you want to throw in, Kev?
I think Jordan Slow since Christmas, and everyone was disrespecting him, saying he was lazy. But I think since Christmas, he's been rejuvenated. He's been absolute class. He's got us a few important goals, and his work rates I think has been terrific. He's been up and down that wing, tracking back, attacking. I think he's been brilliant since Christmas. So.
What about you, Lee?
I agree. No, I think
those two. Between those two,
prior to Christmas, I would have said Eli King. I think he was for us absolutely phenomenal. Full strength left, right, centre. I think brilliant. For the rest of the season, Senior, if we keep hold of him, would be amazing. I think Slew, the biggest surprise of the season by an absolute mile. Yeah. His work rate, his effort, his attitude towards running. Essentially, what he does for us is, I'd go Senior also.
And I mean, you can have players who give everything they've got, but everything they've got isn't too effective. But Slewey's done all right, and he's scored a few goals, made a few. He's had a big impact, hasn't he?
Well, he's big and strong, and I think with Cole going, we struggled. Obviously, Jez Garner's come in, and I think he's not obviously as physical as Cole was. And I think Slew is that physical presence. Yeah. Obviously, Charlie's not either, so I think that's worked well for him, and he's actually quicker than you think. He gets down that ring pretty quickly, doesn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he kind of holds it up, and you're thinking, oh, he's a bit laboured, and then he's away. At Forest Green, coincidentally, fantastic there. Him and Bloxham absolutely ripped him apart.
Yeah, they did.
Good stuff. We mentioned the 3 points deduction. It's always a worry, isn't it? I mean, how do you think the season has gone? For a start off, with the off-field difficulties that we've had, with the sort of changes of personnel that we had, how do you assess the season, Nathan?
I think we've had a good season overall, especially where we finished as well. I'd take that all day long. I think if someone said to you, Brian, we're 15th at the moment, aren't they? And if someone said to you now, would you take 15th position, you'd snap your hand off, wouldn't you? And you'd say, yeah. So I feel like we've had a really good season. We've had some good results as well. Yeah. So I think we have done really, really well.
How do you see it, Kev? Have you been pleased with it, or were you expecting better? I've seen some people on social media say a club coming out of League One should do better than we're doing, but that's
like I say, with all the changes we had at the beginning of the season, we didn't have a squad, did we? No. We signed a few players on loan, we got some brought the players in, then we had the stuff with Adams, Derek Adams leaving, Jed come in there, and I thought he's done a fantastic job, and kept the boys together. And like Dave said, to take 12 spot if we're on Saturday, hopefully we'll take that all day long. Yeah. With all the trials and tribulations we've had, really. So yeah.
But Lee, were you expecting a bit better this season or not?
I think start of the season, I think you're both right. I think we would have taken that to just kind of stay in the Football League. Obviously, we lost literally everyone. So I think you're starting again. However, November time when we're outside the playoffs playing good football, obviously Derek goes. Then we lose our 4 or 5 best players. They go. I think Jed's done a good job. I think the camaraderie amongst the team is probably better than it was in the Derek. I think that's a credit to Jed. I think the football we're playing at times sometimes it can be better, and sometimes it can be worse. But I think for me, we've probably missed a chance getting into the playoffs in terms of we've had one of our missed is that we've played decent football, we've just not got the points, or we've got beaten in stupid games or late goals. So I think we've missed a chance to get into the playoffs. I think this year, this league probably isn't as strong as it has been. Yeah. But to be in the Football League, again, after what's happened this year, it's one of take it, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, of all the players that went in January, who would you say would miss the most? I'll let you think on that for a little bit. But
I've got to say Michael Mellon straight off the bat.
right.
Straight off the bat there. I thought since he's left, we're struggling for goals for a couple of games. You know, and you can't replace someone like that, just like that. It takes time. Let's say Charlie Brown's had a go on it. You know, Jake Gardner's come in and had a go. They've done decent jobs, but you know, like Michael Mellon with it, you know.
And that's been the difference, hasn't it? Like you're saying, Lee, if we'd have retained or replaced a like-for-like Michael Mellon who can get you a dozen goals in the second half, which we had before, if you think about it, you know, when we've had Aaron Collins and people like that into the second half of the season, that might have been just the difference that we needed. We weren't far off, were we?
No.
You're right. Yeah, we weren't far off.
No, it wasn't. No.
Just like that with Mellon, I think you're absolutely right. I think he was an absolute poacher. He would just get you goals out of nothing. I think the one thing we do miss as well is that probably the creativity a bit more as well. So you had Eli, you had Tom, and the amount of running Tom did, we started further wall. The amount of running he stood up and down that wing, and so the senior to get the crosses in, to get the tap-ins in, is what we were after, what we missed. I think Mellon's instinct we definitely missed.
Yeah.
I personally think the attack on the wings, the constant attack on the wings, we probably missed.
And the consistency of that's the point, isn't it? You know, we've seen Charlie Brown do it in the odd game.
Yeah.
We've seen Joe Adams be brilliant in the odd game.
Yeah.
Kembeni as well. Guion has looked like a hell of a player.
Yeah, when he's got the minutes under his belt, it's been fantastic.
But it's not been quite as effective, has it? I think Guion sort of played for himself a little bit, if I'm being honest. There's a brilliant player. There's too good for this league, you know, when he's on form. But they haven't been quite as effective as the lads in the first part of the season, have they?
Agreed.
Yeah.
The 4 or 5, weren't they? All kind of mates, shall we say? You had JJ, you had Eli, you had Adam. They were all kind of clicked on the pitch, and you can see that.
Yeah.
And I think now we definitely missed that. As much as the camaraderie is better, we probably missed that little link up between each player.
And JJ's been a big miss, hasn't he, Nathan? I mean, do you think we've maybe underestimated the absence of JJ in all this?
Yeah, we missed his creativity in the middle, I think. He's been brilliant, especially that hat-trick he scored against Colchester, and then from there, when he got injured, we've just been a bit light in the middle, I think.
Yeah.
So these young lads are coming. Adams and Kembeni have come in, they've sort of helped midfield a bit, but I still think we missed JJ.
Yeah.
And it's good to see him back on the pitch as well.
Yeah. And it's difficult, it's frustrating, isn't it, as fans, because I could ask you now which players you would like to retain, but we haven't really got any idea of what capability we've got of retaining these players, of offering them good deals, have we?
That's it.
So I think the on-field stuff is great, we can comment about that all day, but what are you hoping for in the close season? And I mean, the season's not finished yet, and we'll talk about, you know, the Swindon game next week. But you know, what are you hoping for in the close season, Kev?
Well, hopefully we can keep them 5 or 6 of them. You know, keep a solid core. You know, and then obviously then build on that, because these lads that have played this year, like I said, have been fantastic. So keep them next year. It'll be a step forward, and then we can just build around them, I think, personally.
What about you, Lee? Any particular individuals you would be absolutely busting a gut to keep?
Joel, 100%. JJ, I think, is there a clause in contract to keep next season as well? Or
I think we've got an extension option, I think.
JJ, 100%. I think I like to keep Jacob, Baz. I think they all at the back do a great job in League Two. I think for us, it's just scary. We don't know what's going on off the field. It could literally get to July, we've got no players again. So it's scary. But for me, Joel, the back kind of 3 would be really good. But yeah, it's just a guessing game, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the worry, isn't it, Nathan? Really, we can comment all we like about what's going on the pitch, but until we get it sorted out off the pitch, have you heard anything? Any whispers anybody's got about what might happen?
No, nothing.
We haven't, have we? I mean, I've heard people sort of saying, actually going into administration wouldn't be the end of the world, because the sticking point at the moment, isn't it? You've got an owner who wants a certain amount of money to get him out of the way. He wants to sell, but he wants to sell at a certain price. Now, something might come to force his hand on that. He might get a personal big tax bill or something. I don't know how these things work, but I've had people who know about this stuff saying actually going into administration wouldn't be the worst thing. I think there's people out there, who could form a little consortium, but not while you're dealing with somebody who wants too much money.
Would we get a point deduction if we did go into administration this summer from the start of
I don't
the season?
That,
You see,
you-
so
You'd imagine we would, wouldn't you?
yeah,
Imagine we would.
I mean, you would imagine it would carry over into next season.
that'll be another tough one, won't it?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like you say, it could be a blessing in disguise, sort of.
Yeah.
But
It's tricky.
hopefully we don't.
No one knows what's gonna. If you went to administration, no one knows what would happen. So it's kind of like, would you rather just stay where you are now and hope for the best,
Yeah.
or go in administration and it could be catastrophic, really. What would
Yeah,
happen?
it's like a watershed
Exactly.
moment.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But it's got to come to a head sometime,
Yeah.
hasn't
Absolutely.
it?
Has. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course it has.
And that's the frustration for us as fans. All we can do is go and support them, which is what we'll all be doing on Saturday. Hope we can finish with a great win at the Mazuma against Forest Green. We'll talk about that next week, and we'll talk about the coming close season and any thoughts we have on that. If you want to get involved in this for either these last couple or for next season, just give us a comment or get in touch with us on Facebook. But for now, we'll see you next week.